FREQ. Welcome back. We've got a very special episode. We've got Mike Snell here for an interview, and I want you to introduce yourself because you wear so many hats. So, I mean, depending on the day.
Today I'm wearing my New York hat. My name is Mike Snell, CEO of Live and Direct Entertainment, producer, engineer, executive. That's who I am.
Awesome.
Nice. Welcome.
Thanks for coming on. We're happy to have you. And I don't remember when I followed you, but like when I made my new Instagram, I saw that I was following you, so I followed you from that. And then I don't know. I just always am trying to connect with whoever's in the scene,
I think I actually found you on Clubhouse.
On Clubhouse.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's a great music industry resource, and not many people talk about it. The music industry has flocked to Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Do you still use Clubhouse?
Not really.
No, me neither.
It's like the first couple months everyone was on it crazy. It kind of died down. I mean, I go on occasionally, just to check it out when I'm bored.
Yeah.
Not as much. But I think that's where I found you, and I followed you off of there. Just because I was trying to connect with more DJs and stuff, and that because I'm also DJ
You're
as well.
You're working with a lot of artists too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I was trying to at one point I wanted to start getting more DJ gigs in the area, so I was like, let me just follow whoever.
Hell yeah.
I think that's how I met you.
Yeah, it's a good place to connect with people that are doing similar things.
Yeah.
But I want you to tell us just kind of about growing up in New York and just kind of what inspired you getting into music and just being in New York, one of the biggest music scenes. So many artists came up from New York. So
okay, well, I grew up in Washington Heights, Manhattan. But growing up, my mom, she always wanted me to go to different schools. She didn't really want me to be in the public school scene like that, so she put me in the school, Bronx Charter School for the Arts. It was like a charter school. For the curriculum was based around the arts. We would take music, dance, what else? Art, and also computer for the first semester. We did some computer stuff. But I had this teacher, Mr. Dunkley. Shout out Mr. Dunkley. I fucking love you so much. He played the djembe, West African drum. So he would use it as an incentive in class, if you guys do good today, we could play drums after class. And I just remember that was the first time I ever played an instrument, and it came naturally to me. All the other kids were just banging, but I actually heard the rhythm.
You had the rhythm.
Yeah, and I felt it. And then after that, my music teacher, Mr. Plax, I started taking piano lessons with him privately. My mom would pay for piano lessons. And that's kind of how I started. And then and then taking the train in New York, they'll have drum circles, all these African dudes will have drum circles and play. And as a kid, I would literally play with them in the subway and shit. I never told anybody that, literally. So that's kind of how it started for me. And then and then I ended up moving to Westchester around high school. It was the end of 8th grade, going to high school. And
so that was your middle school that you were telling us?
Well, that was elementary school. That was 3rd grade.
Oh, okay.
That was 3rd grade. And then once I got to 7th grade, I started fucking around with GarageBand with my siblings. I was just making songs for fun with my little brother and my little sister and my older sister.
7th grade.
Yeah, making beats
crazy.
And shit. That was 13. And then I ended up moving. In 9th grade, I moved to Westchester, Peekskill, New York. And then I had no friends and shit when I first went there. And I remember walking through the hallways, and I saw that there was a music lab. And I was like, oh shit, I remember I used to fuck with GarageBand a couple years ago. Let me see if I'm still good at it. So then I would just make beats after class. And then, funniest story. But one day I'm in gym class, and this kid, we're playing kickball. Right? I get this kid out. And he's like, yo, suck my dick. I'm like, what? Like, why do you suck my dick? Fuck out of here. Like, and then we was getting into a fight. Everyone breaks it up, whatever. And then I go home and I open Facebook and there's a fucking diss track. Like,
No
waiting
way.
for you.
Yeah, and I wasn't even a rapper. I was like, what the hell? Like, he's disrespecting me, my mom and shit, going like, I'm just like, yo, I'm not about to let this kid come at me. So like, I fucking made a diss track back. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't a rapper, but it was fun. You know, I had fun doing it. And I just remember like my heart beating mad fast, uploading it. I'm just like, and then I guess through that, like, we went back and forth like 3 or 4 times, and I started getting, you know, a little fake popularity. People were like, oh, we should make music together. And then from there, I just made friends and like made a little fake rap crew. And then we would just record every day after school, like every single day. Because I lived across the street from the high school. So I would sneak kids over before my mom got home to my house. And then my first setup, I had a rock band mic. And we wrapped it in a fucking, with a do-rag.
Oh my God.
For the pop filter. Yeah. And I had this like CD case that looked like a guitar, but like had like, the mic fit perfectly in it. So we just put the mic in it and wrapped it and put it on the wall with a thumbtack. And that was the booth. Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
A
And
DIY
like,
setup of the
I love
century.
how
for real.
it's something that like you just always had a passion for, you know, like as a kid. And like, that's what like, you know, that's what makes people's like figure out what you really want to do in life. Like that's what you should tap into.
Exactly.
Like the shit you always liked and like were good at, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's such a cool story because your setup now is probably fucking crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I have various. I just go to studio now.
Yeah. Always using like good ass equipment now.
Yeah, for real. I mean, not always. Sometimes, you know, like I use the Audio Technica 10, what is it? So Audio Technica is like $100 mic. I use it at home, but it's really about the engineering, honestly.
Yeah.
But
the program.
yeah, I do have good,
everything.
you know, now I have different options in studios and shit.
Mm-hmm. And
But,
do you still play piano?
I'm not like prefer. I can't like play like fucking Mozart and shit.
Yeah, but like when you're making
yeah, I
beats
mean,
and stuff.
I picked up the trumpet too. Also, I forgot to mention in like 4th grade, and I played that all throughout high school. So like the music theory always stuck with me, and like I can play like basic chords, and like I can like look up chords and play a song. But so it's definitely something that helps me to this day with my production for sure.
Definitely knowing the music and not just kind of like copy and paste and like,
Yeah, exactly.
loops and
Which
stuff.
I mean, most producers out here do.
Yeah, it's just
It's fine. You know what I'm saying? It
it's
works.
Fine. It
It
totally
works.
works. But like, I think it's really cool when like you really know like everything about it. You know.
Definitely.
But who were some of like your music inspirations like when you were younger? Like
I mean,
any like specific like anybody that pops up.
I mean,
like,
Kanye for
Yeah.
sure. Like Kanye, growing up, I was obsessed with Kanye. It all started in 2007 when, you know, he had this fake beef with 50 Cent. It was like, all right, who's gonna sell more, Graduation or The Massacre?
Infamous Rolling Stone cover.
Exactly.
Rolling Stone magazine.
And every one of my schools was like 50 Cent, 50 Cent, and then I remember Kanye a little bit like through the wire. I had like a couple songs from hearing on the radio, but just because I like to go against everyone, I was like, no, Kanye's gonna win, blah blah. But through that, I started listening to his music, and then Stronger. I had a fucking wow, I just had a fucking flashback. I had a Sony Ericsson, one of those slide-up phones.
What is that? That's
It's
a phone.
It's a phone, yeah,
Wow.
it's a phone. And I remember I made Stronger my ringtone.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then that was like my favorite song was Stronger.
I
And
loved that.
That,
song when I
that
was
song
younger.
still sounds modern. That song
I think
is
of
a
like
good
Field
20
Day
years
at
ahead of its
school
time.
when I think of that song.
Field Day.
Yeah, we used to have Field Day. Like,
I remember Field
You
Day.
know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember Field Day. That's like when
Okay.
everyone did like, you know, you had like,
Little
it's like
blow-up
fake
bouncy
Olympics for
houses.
school.
Yeah, pretty much. And they had a DJ always, like, there's so many songs that I think of, like, elementary school when I hear them now.
Yeah, 2007. But yeah, Kanye, and then through that, you know, after that, 808s and Heartbreak, and then I remember hearing Love Lockdown on the radio for the first time, and I was like, this is so different. Like, everyone was like, what the fuck is Kanye doing? Like, he's lost it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, nah, like, this is good. And then the album came out, I'm saying, number one, changed the whole sound of hip-hop. So I always loved that. Kanye always always was out of the box and always doing different shit than everybody. He didn't care what everybody else was doing. Like, he just wanted to do his thing, you know. And then even with Yeezus, like, that was the first concert I went to. It was like 2013 at Madison Square Garden. I was the second person in line.
I went to Yeezus.
Wow.
I literally was the second person in line, like, you
That's
know.
awesome.
And I went by myself because my mom got me the tickets for my birthday, and that was when Kendrick was doing the whole "I'm the King of New York."
Okay. Was he opening?
Yeah, he was opening.
Yeah.
So I met this kid from Memphis, and he was like, "Yo, like, when Kendrick comes out, we're gonna jump the fence and go to VIP." I was like, "All right, but we gotta do it as soon as he gets out because when everyone's going crazy."
Yeah.
And literally, that's exactly what we did. As soon as he came, like, we jumped the fence. Next thing I know, I'm smoking blunts and fucking VIP and shit.
Oh, that's
It was
awesome.
yeah. And then Yeezus, like, that album was such a fuck you to the industry because it was like, yo, I don't care what y'all doing. Like, I'm changing the sound completely.
Again.
The album starts, it's like, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, on site.
You know, but you have to have a open mind in order to, you know, listen to it.
Yeah.
And, you know, so definitely Kanye.
Yeah.
And then,
Which is crazy.
Yeah,
You know, like,
Yeah,
that's
down
one
the
of your
line.
biggest inspirations. And look at you now. Like, you got to work with him. And
yeah.
are you still working with him?
No, not currently. You know, I still work with people that I've met through him and you know, through working with him. But that's the reason I moved to LA. Really, it was like, yo, I'm gonna work. I told my mom I'm working with Kanye. Like,
Yes.
she's like, okay, whatever. But you know,
Do you believe in, like, law of attraction and, like...
yeah, that's changed my life. The
Yes.
secret. You know what I'm saying? That's
You live it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You live it.
Yo, shout out my homies KO, Flows, and Metric and Derek. They're the ones that first showed me that law of attraction is real because, well, my homie Io, you know, you should watch his documentary, The Secret. And I watched it. I was like, oh shit. And I told my friend about it. I was like, you know, yeah, because he wanted, my friend Lucas, one of my best friends, he wanted Subaru WRX, right? So I was like, bro, make it your background on your phone and just look at it every day. Just think about it every single day. And then he ended up getting the car like 2-3 months later. And then, you know, my boy KO and Derek, they would, I met them, I think it was an open mic event that I had. And they would tell me like, yo, they like were reading Russell Simmons' book. And they're like, yo, I'm going to meet Russell Simmons. 2 days later, they're rapping for Russell Simmons.
Dude.
Then they were like, we're going to meet Nipsey. Fucking, they came to LA 3 weeks later with Nipsey. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you know, they showed me it was really possible. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to fucking work with Kanye.
It's more
You know what I'm saying?
believable when you're seeing, like, people around you really on it, too. And, like, it's just, like, literally such a general concept that we should have been taught in school. You know?
Yeah,
it's just, like, the realest shit, but...
Don't get me started on the public
we're in the
education
Matrix,
system.
so...
Yeah, we
they
literally-
don't want
It's my
us
favorite
to-
movie, by the way.
Yeah, I just watched it recently. It's crazy. But yeah, I just actually was listening to this other audiobook, Ask and It Is Given, but it's another like law of attraction book because I did listen to The Secret. I listened to the audiobook back in like probably 2014, 2013, and I was like, whoa, changed my life. And like
literally.
that's what I live by now. But it's so dope that, you know, Kanye was somebody that you were just really into, and even just like being into the music shit.
Even the story about like when I finally got contacted to work with good music was crazy because I was working with Atlantic Records like when I
I
first
want to
moved
talk
out
about
here.
that. If you wanted to start with that, actually.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well,
yeah, that's the next thing I was gonna ask about.
Yeah, when I was so I was in New York. I went eventually after high school. I went to the college for a little bit. Didn't really work out. Then I ended up going to engineering school. I went to the Institute of Audio Research. Worked in New York for like a year and a half. And then I felt like I kind of hit a wall. I was just like, I feel like I did everything I could do in New York. And then somebody hit me up and was like, yo, like, I see you work hard every day. You know, I got connections at Atlantic Records. I could possibly get you an interview there, but you have to live here if you really want the job. And that's my boy RC Story. I didn't know him at the time, but we went to the same high school. But yeah, he was just like watching me or whatever. So I was like, all right, fuck it. So I saved $1,000 and I just left. Like literally, I was like,
wow, that's a thin margin.
Yeah, I know. That was the most I've ever saved though at the time.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah. So I moved. I got the interview, got the job. Then I was working there. Man, that shit was bullshit because I was getting $20 an hour in New York, like independently. Turns out I was getting $12 an hour from Atlantic, and then I find out I only get paid once a month. Then I find out that the check's always late. So I was like, this is fucking bullshit.
Ooh.
And that goes into the question you told me to think about later.
Yes.
Later. But
we'll circle back to that because
Yeah.
I wanna kind of keep the narrative going. So you come to LA, you're working at Atlantic. What were some of the other adjustments from being in New York?
Well, I have no friends or family, number one. And then I didn't really plan that well because I was going to stay with this girl that I used to talk to. But then I found out she was pregnant when I got here. Which is crazy.
Shit.
Yeah, so she's like, I didn't even put my bags down. She's like, so how long are you going to stay here? I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, no.
Yeah, but my boy Chris, shout out Chris, raptographer. He's an amazing ass photographer. He let me crash on his couch. So, yeah, man, I just had to adjust to like really grinding and like sleeping on the floor and fucking, eating noodles every day and fucking watching the fridge to see how long motherfuckers left the sandwich there for.
Yeah.
But, it was tough, really tough for like the first month and a half, even after that, honestly. And then working long, long hours, But it's a funny story to circle back to the Kanye thing. Like the first day I moved to LA, I met the songwriter Cadence. And Cadence was like, I had I feel like Pablo hoodie on.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, yo, like, you like Kanye? I'm like, what? I love Kanye. Like, went on a rant. And then she's like, oh, like, I know some people at Good Music. I'll give them your number just in case.
Wow.
So then that was the first day. And I remember calling my mom, like, yo, mom, I told you I was going to work with Kanye. Like,
that's amazing.
But that shit didn't come through for like 6-7 months. Like, it was a while until they actually finally called me.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I had broken my phone. Well, my phone just wasn't turning on one day. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I can't have this. I don't have money to get a new phone. So I call my grandma. I'm like, Grandma, I need some money so I get a new phone, please. So she sends me some money. I go to the store. I get the phone. And then while I was getting the phone, I was charging my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, just to see if it would turn on, I like put it on the charger in the store. So I walk out of the store and the fucking phone turns on afterwards. I'm like, now I had two phones for no reason. So I get back to Atlantic. I was like chilling there, and I was talking to my friend about the law of attraction. I was like, because I had Kanye as my laptop background, and I had him as my phone background. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put it on this new phone also, and I'm gonna change all these, like, you know how like on the desk you can have like 3 desktops on the Mac, like,
oh yeah.
You can change like you can have like multiple wallpapers. So I had like Kanye on 3 of those, and I had 2 phones with Kanye on it.
Oh my God.
So every screen is Kanye.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna work where I know I am. And then I was going on a rant about how Yeezus is the most underrated album of all time, which I still think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then I swear to God, I get a call from Hawaii. I was like, what the fuck? And then he's like, hey, is this Mike Snell? I'm like, yes. And it was Che Pope from Good Music. And he's like, yo, like, I need an engineer over here. Tiana Taylor just fired her engineer. We need somebody right now. I was like, oh shit, yo. I was like, what's the address? The address was like 5 minutes down the street. I was like, let's go.
God.
I was so hyped. And
that is crazy.
Yeah, and
I have like goosebumps right now.
Yeah,
like,
it was crazy. I was like, I told you, law of attraction. Like,
yeah.
it was amazing. And then, I walked over there and I was listening to the intro to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. And I had no idea that was Tiana Taylor on the intro. Did you guys know that? That was, can we get much higher?
I did not know that.
I didn't even know. I had
no idea.
Yeah, so all those backgrounds, that's Tiana. I didn't know. So then I go there and then...
Yeah, I always knew her like as a dancer, like, with Kanye and stuff.
Yeah.
That's how like I first heard of her.
Because of Fade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then the session went great. Like, went amazing. It was, it's funny because I didn't know who he was at the time. I get in the studio and there's this guy and this girl there. And I was like, oh, so you guys writers or something? And then he's like, he laughs. He like smirks, like, yeah, I'm a writer. Turns out it was Eric Bellinger. I didn't know who the fuck he was at the time.
God.
So, but we did that. That's when we did 3-way off of KTSE. So then we recorded that song. She came through, we recorded it, and after the session, I was like, "Yo, like, if you need a personal engineer, I would love to. Like, I don't like working at Atlantic right now, and I'm from Harlem. Me from Harlem, like, I'm from the Heights, but whatever, Harlem, the Heights, same shit. I was like, what I'm saying, it's meant to be. Like, I should be an engineer. And then she was like, you hear that, Dad? Like, he's unhappy. Take his number. So then her dad took my number, and then like a couple weeks later, he called me to come to Miami to finish the album. I was like, yes.
Dude,
And then that's how it all started right there. Yeah.
that's amazing. And like I was reading that, you know, like she needs somebody that works fast.
Oh, yeah.
And like you guys just had a really good connection in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
So like kind of talk about like what qualities you have that make you a good like engineer in the studio and like able to just like.
Well, like I've always been like ADD. Like I like to do shit. Like I'm fidgety, and that makes it helps me when I engineer, because coming up, you know, engineers kind of tell you like, oh, like you don't want to mix the song. Like you want to make sure they you know, just record with the regular template. That way they come back to you for a mix, and then they come back to you for a master. But I figured out a way. Like I started recording into my mixing template, so it's already while she's recording, it's already sounding how it already sounds good. And on top of that, I know every single shortcut, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like really, really fast, honestly, you know, like I'm recording, so it already sounds good immediately. And then, you know, she's quick. She's like, yo, one more take. And the way she works is she's like, we record like 15 takes, and then she'll be like, yo, go to the third take, 60 seconds right there. I want to use that, push it up, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I got to be on it, like just,
Yeah.
you know, like, and that first session is almost like a test. Like she'll go extra hard just to see if you could really keep up. And, you know, I kept up. So she loved that about me. So that's why we work so well together, is because, you know, being an engineer is like, you want to, I forget who said this. One engineer said this. He was just like, you want the artist to forget that you're there while they're recording. Like you want them to just be in the zone. They got to stay in the zone, and, you know, I've kept them in the zone, so.
Yeah, and like, you know, just even getting them to sound the way they want, and like just understanding it like kind of quickly, because I've been in the studio with some people, and like sometimes the engineer is just like being mad slow, or they won't understand, or they're just like not paying attention or something, and that getting all confused and whatnot. And it really fucks the whole session and the vibe up. Like, you can't make good music if you're not in the studio with the right people. So
Amen.
That's like mad important.
Yeah, super
But
important.
I want you to talk about live and direct.
Oh.
And talk about like some of the artists that you're working with, some independent artists.
Okay. Well, live and direct, you know, all started with my partner Keith. You know, Keith Turner is my brother. He really inspired all of it. You know, about a year ago. I mean, really started like 4 years ago. Honestly, he was working on the show called Mo Talk, and essentially, you know, this is how I like to put it. Like 20 years ago, 15 years ago, we had TRL, we had 106 in Park. Before that, we had Soul Train. Now we have live and direct. You know what I'm saying? That's the best way to paint the picture for you guys. So we're working on, I don't want to give too much details, but
yeah, whatever you
we're working on this, you know, it's a film company / music label. So on the film side, that's our premiere product, live and direct the show. And then we also are working on an album called Blue Moon. Actually, it's pretty much done, to be honest with you. 7 songs. I don't want to give too much details, but we have, you know, some fire up and coming artists. One of our company missions is to give a platform for up and coming artists, you know, via big artists, you know what I'm saying? So we put, every show we put up and coming artists with an established artist, we put them together. And anyone who's on the show is on the album. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah,
awesome.
Like if you go back and listen to some interviews I did, I talk about certain songs that haven't come out. They will be on the album, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like a DJ Khaled-esque type of album. But the only difference is that, no offense to DJ Khaled, but there's nothing on this that sounds like anything else.
Yeah.
It's nostalgic, yet new at the same time.
Authentic.
Exactly. And it's called Blue Moon because, you know, things like this only happen once in a blue moon. And it's an introspective album. It's you know, it's real. It's about real emotions, real life experiences, like talking about like, it's a story if you go through track 1 through 7, you know. We got our intro track, I don't want to say the name, but Marcus.
No, you don't have to.
Marcus Yates is a dope artist from Kansas City. He has a song that just. Keith told me when he was, you know, before we even made the album, he's like, Snell, we're gonna win a Grammy together. I was just like, okay, whatever. And then even when we agreed to do the album, he's like, Snell, this is winning a Grammy. I was like, maybe our second or our third album, because I like to be realistic.
Yeah.
But then he played me this song, and I was like, oh shit, like we really might win a Grammy. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to overhype it, but it's not good. Like, to be honest with you, you know what I'm saying? I would love to invite you guys to a listening party. We're having it. We're shooting. We already shot our first episode for Live and Direct. Already done. We just got the final edit yesterday, and our next shoot is next Wednesday, and you guys are invited.
Oh, I would love to come.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and you'll be able to hear the album.
During the day or at night?
Well, we're shooting the show from 12 to like 5, and then from like 6 to like whenever the fuck we're gonna be having just a listening party and just vibing, you know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for the invite. I'm definitely gonna be
dope.
there.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
Oh yeah,
that's exciting.
That's really exciting.
Right. Well, how long have you been working on this to bring it to where it is now? When did this project start?
To be honest, it's been like years, really. But with the specific name, Live and Direct, we've only been working on this for like 2 months, to be honest with you, and we already have.
Wow.
We already have a 1 episode. We got an album done. We have 3 behind the scenes videos already done, ready released. You know, we're just waiting to finish the 2nd episode before we publish anything because we want to just be ahead of the curve. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We want to have a bunch of content. That way, when we start dropping, we have more in the chamber while we're working on more already.
Yeah.
And you know, we're looking at, you know, some partners for licensing deals. You know, such, you know, Snapchat, Trailer, Tidal. And then on the label side, you know, we're looking to get a joint venture, you know, through, you know, either Empire. I don't want to say too much, but we're looking at some big names, you know what I'm saying? So this is why it's great, because I feel like it's the perfect time for me to, like, transition from being, you know, I feel like an engineer, I'm solidified already. Like, you know, writer, I feel like I solidify myself somewhat as a writer and producer. But I've always wanted to be an executive and have my own label. And this is allowing me to solidify myself as a producer, writer, and an executive, you know, with this label, and Keith being a great A&R, you know, inspiring everything and putting together the track list and stuff like that.
So exciting.
That's incredible.
Congrats.
And you kind of mentioned the Grammys already, but you're no stranger because you have some nominations.
Yeah, I'm a proud Grammy loser.
Talk about it.
Man, that came from the Wyoming trip, you know, because working with Tiana allowed me to get in the room with so many people, like, you know, including Kanye and yeah, Che, Pope. I fucking love you, Che. I love you. But Che gave me a call one day. I was like, first of all, I also manifested that because as soon as I saw that Kanye was in Wyoming, I was like telling everybody, I'm going to Wyoming, by the way. Like,
wow.
I'm going to let you know. I was acting like it already happened, you know?
Yeah.
And it did, you know? And then I ended up getting the call to go there, and yeah, when it really happened the first day I got there, I almost got kicked out the first day, which is a whole nother story. but
you want to talk about it?
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a second. But Pusha T was finishing up Daytona, and they were trying to like do the sample clearances, and they couldn't clear this one sample that Shake 070 Shake that she had recorded on, so then they had to re-record it, and they were like, is anyone available to record? I was like, me. So we re-recorded it, and then got put on the album. And then I remember the album dropped, the credits came out, it wasn't on the credits, and I was pissed. I was like, what the fuck, like. And a certain person who I'm not gonna say her name, but she was like, oh, you should just be happy that you got to work. I'm like, nah, fuck that. No. I need my name on it, because if it gets,
you gotta make noise for yourself.
Bro, I was like, what if it gets nominated for a Grammy? And then what? I was like, I'm getting my name on it. And the A&Rs were pissed and shit. I don't give a fuck. Got my name on it. And then a year later, I'm in Dubai with Danny Lay, and fucking the Grammy nominations come out, and it was nominated for Grammy for rap album of the year. I was like, I fucking told you, like.
That's awesome.
So
good for you.
Yeah.
You really gotta speak up and get what you want to, and like. It seems like you know how to do that. You know, some people aren't like confident enough or whatever to just like say what they feel, and then they end up getting like fucked over, and it's not cool.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like specifically as an engineer, like your credit is all you have, because we get paid like not that. I mean, depending on what level as an engineer you're on, like, you know, you don't get paid the greatest amount, you know, and it's like you don't get any royalties. So at the end of the day, all you have is the credit. You know, you're only as good as your last credit in this industry, unfortunately. You know, so it's really important. And most engineers are like introverted, and they don't really speak up. Like I was doing,
people take advantage.
Yeah, exactly. People take advantage of it. Like I was doing a J Balvin writing camp, and there was like 3 engineers that worked in there. Was telling me all his credits. He's like, yeah, but this kid had worked with. I mean, I shouldn't call him a kid, but he had worked with fucking The Weeknd, Kendrick, all these like top names, and he had no credits. I was like, bro, what the fuck? Like, you need to speak up. He's like, oh, but I'm just glad I got the opportunity. No, but no one's gonna believe you. Like, you're gonna be like 10 years from now, you're gonna be like, yeah, I worked on that song, but where's the proof? You know what I'm saying? Like,
why do you think labels do that though?
because no one gives a fuck about the engineer. It's like we're like one step above the intern.
Shit.
You know, it's fucked up.
It's like you're the ones that make the music sound as good as it sounds. Like,
exactly.
The music wouldn't be shit without it. Like, imagine, like, remember, like, when even Playboi Carti first dropped music, his stuff sounded like shit. But
Yeah.
it was so good, but, like, the quality was so bad.
Yeah,
Like,
for real.
you know, it's just, it makes such a huge difference.
So yeah, I think that leads into that question. What do you think should change about the music business? And you can talk about for engineers and producers.
Well, there needs to be a fucking union. That's what needs to happen. The thing is, everyone talks about it, is like, oh, like, but they always say, but it's never gonna happen. Like, nah, it's gonna happen. You know, that's another big thing with my company. Like, obviously, you know, we're just starting. We don't have much leverage, but it's gonna be to the point where we're the top, you know, label, and we're the top. You know, everyone needs to be in Live in the Rack, or else you're fucking bum. So once we get to that point, you know, we're gonna be changing those things, because at the end of the day, if it wasn't for engineering, I wouldn't be who I am. So I think things that need to change is, you know, they need to get more respect. They need to get, like, the credits need to be like, there's never been a major release that's come out and the credits were correct the first time. Never. It's never happened. You know, like, that needs to change. We need to get our credit immediately. And I believe that engineers should get royalties. Like, it's fucked up that some engineers, like mixing engineers, they might get 1%. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, I got 2%. Like, no, like, we should get 5% minimum, because if there's no engineer, there's no song. Like, there literally is no song.
Yeah.
So I believe that needs to change. And also, like, there needs to be, like, a minimum, like, starting rate or something, like, because there's, like, you know, there's day rates, and then there's, like, you know, sometimes they get paid through the studio, and it's not as much as, like, you could work at a studio and get paid $12 an hour, right? And then another engineer, say Wiz Khalifa comes with his own engineer, does the same exact job, but he's getting paid $500 a day, and he's not doing any differently than the dude that's getting $12 an hour. Like, that's not fair, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not right. I feel like that needs to get changed too. It's a lot.
Well, I'm excited to see you make some change, because that's who's going to do it, you know, people of our generation. Like, there's a lot of, like, older people in the music industry that are just going along with what it is, and they don't really care to make change. So we're here to make the change, you know? Like, we're going to do it.
And the business has completely been, like, flipped on its head from streaming. So it's a good time to just change all the rules.
Exactly.
Yeah, everything's already changing so much. Like, just the way, like, music drops so often, and, like, even, like, I noticed, like, sometimes, I wanted to actually ask about this, but, like, sometimes producer tags aren't on the song.
Bro,
and I wanted to ask about that.
They did that to me.
I want to know about that. Like,
well, first of all, I just had a song, you brought it up, Kodak Black.
Yep.
My tag is in there, but it's, like, super slow. It's, like, super low. It's, like, the reason why is because he was whispering over that song, so I had to turn it down. But I mean, I think it depends on the artist, because if you think about, like, Timbaland and talking about influences, another, you know, Timbaland, Pharrell, GOATs, they never had tags, but you know when a song is by Timbaland or Pharrell.
Yeah.
So I think it depends, because sometimes some songs need it and sometimes songs don't. Like on Tiana's album, you know, when we were getting the final mixes, some producers added their tag last second, and she's like, "Get that shit the fuck off of my album! Like, this ain't a mixtape." Like, which is true.
Okay.
So it depends, but, like, I don't know. I think it depends, like, the level that the producer's at. You know what I'm saying? Like, Murder Beats, you already know he's gonna have his tag on everything.
Yeah.
You know, but someone like me who doesn't really have a huge name when it comes to producing, like, they can just take it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, they did to me on the Kodak one, which is fine. I'm so grateful for it. But I don't know.
That song's fire.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I heard that. I saw that video and heard that song. The beat's, like, crazy on that. I love that.
Shout out to Crystal, my homie. Mixed by Crystal. She has a studio in North Hollywood. Crystal Clarity Studio. You should go book that. But
Crystal Clarity.
Yeah, and, like, we need more women, and, you know, in the industry. you know, in general. So it's definitely always like to support that. But I was doing a session with her, and I had made 2 beats, and I was tired as fuck. I was about to go to sleep, and she's like, yo, just make one more beat. Like, just one more. I was like, nah, I want to go home. She was like, make the beat. I was like, all right. And then ended up being that beat. And then I went to Miami the next day, and then I was in Miami, and my manager, Nikita, shout out to Nikita, she booked a studio for me. So I'm in the room, whatever. Like, I was with my boy Irvin, and we were just listening to music, you know, about to start making beats. And then fucking Kodak walks in. I was like, what the hell? Like, dude. I was like, and he had just got out of jail, so I thought I was like tripping. I was like,
oh, so this is very, very
that
recent.
was mad recent,
this is like 2 months ago, like. And then I'm just like, what the fuck? And then he's like, am I interrupting anything? I was like, nah, like, you're good, like, whatever. So then I start packing up. And I'm like, man, I gotta say something. I can't just, dude. I have to, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, hey, bro, like, I'm a producer. Do you mind if I play some beats? He's like, you got beats? Like, hell yeah. Like, you probably got that shit. I was like, yes. And the fucking aux wasn't working. I was like, god damn it, was just working. So then I was like trying to figure it out. But then I figured it out. And then that was the first beat I played. And then he was bopping to it. And then he was like, all right, play some more. I played like 2 or 3 more. And then he's like, go back to that first one. So, and then he's like, starts writing to it and shit. I was like, I was hyped. I was like, dude, yes, let's go.
That must have been such a crazy,
I was hyped.
Like a dream. Like, just like, what the fuck? He just walked in here.
Literally, I was hyped. And then he's like, you know how to record? I was like, yeah, definitely. He's like, all right, load it up. And then his homies hop in the booth. I was like, ah, fuck.
Yeah, there's a lot of people on that track.
Not gonna lie. Like, hopefully they don't watch this interview. They probably won't, but I mean, maybe they will. I don't know. But I was mad. I was like, damn, I thought Kodak was gonna get on it. You know what I'm saying? And then they started rapping. The dude I'm like saying way too much right now, but the dude got stuck on the 3rd bar, and then I was like, they was vibing with me at first. They were fucking with me, and I was like, bro, you should just say this. And then he looked at me like. And then the music stopped. Everyone looked at me like, the security guard was like, nah, bro, we don't do that shit. Like, we write our own shit out here. I was like, oh,
no way.
Y'all fucked up.
That's
and then they was like, you know what, load something up. Like, and then I was like, ah, shit, they didn't want to work on the song anymore. And then I just got up and left. I was like, all right, I'm gonna holla at y'all. Like, I appreciate you. My name is Snell. Blah. So I thought I dropped the ball. But then like a couple days later, they had hit my manager up and it was like, hey, Kodak wants to release that song. And it turns out he got on the song. I was like, yes. Jesus. Like, I was so hyped.
Oh my God.
So I ended up coming out, and it's doing pretty good. I think it's like at like 8 mil or something on YouTube right now. That's pretty much that's like my biggest placement to the date, I think.
That's so sick. I love that song. But that's crazy how it happened too. I feel like you're just like doing what you need to do, and stuff kind of can just flow to you more naturally. You know what I mean? You don't gotta force shit, because it's just like you're doing what you need to be doing, and like that opportunity is gonna come to you. Obviously, you have to work hard, but you know, like it just pays off. Like you don't have to forcefully like hit up all these people. Like you'll just meet the people and like just work like that. And I've noticed that since I've moved to LA, I kind of switched my mindset, because like I used to be a club promoter, and it's just such a forceful thing. You know what I mean?
That's
and
why
like,
I hate sending beats. I hate sending beats out, because I'm like, I'd rather be in the studio. I'm like, I don't like chasing things.
Yeah,
like, they either come or they don't.
You shouldn't have to, and you don't have to. Like once you just have this mindset, like, and just know you're good, you're doing what you want to be doing, it just like flows more natural, just like everything you're telling me, you know what I mean? Like the way you've met these people that connected you with labels and different artists, it's like you didn't forcefully like hit them up on some shit, you know what I mean? Like
definitely not.
These people just came into your life, like it's all about like energy and everything. It's just so dope. But I wanted to ask too, like, being in the studio with different artists, like, have you ever like made a beat with an artist, like based on like, you know, an idea they had for a song, and you kind of just like collaborated in a way? Yeah,
we have the song Pressure with Danny Lay. So fucking, that was funny because we were in the studio. She was kept playing this, actually ironically, the Kodak Black song, Calling My Spirit. She kept playing and she's like, I want to be like this. And then this is when I was just engineering for her, you know, and then we had a producer and a songwriter in the studio, and she was like, I want a song like this. She plays the song. So then the guitar player starts playing the guitar perfectly, like, to it. And then I was like, yo, that's perfect. That's amazing. So some songwriters and artists, people in the studio, they feel a type of way when the engineer says some shit. Mm-hmm. So that songwriter gave me a kind of look, and then she's like, no, don't do that. Play it like this. Mm-hmm. Then they started making some other shit. I was like, man, what the fuck? I was like, you know, I'm gonna make the beat myself. You know what I'm saying? So just went home and I made and I hit my boy Yates our Wild Up, and then I was like, yo, I need a guitar, like, you know, I need a minor scale arpeggio around 120 BPM. And then he's like, yeah, just pull up to the studio, let's do it together. And we made it, and then I sent the screenshot, a recording to Danny. Mm-hmm. I was like, yo, you gotta hear this beat. She was like, yo, I love it, let's record to it tomorrow. And then me and her got in the studio, and then she did a melody, and then we like wrote the lyrics together. Mm-hmm. So you guys may or may not be hearing that song soon.
Okay.
But yeah, and then fucking Boogie ended up hopping on it. Rusk ended up getting on it too. So.
She's from New York too, right?
No, she's from Florida.
Oh, she's from Florida.
Yeah.
What? Why did I think she was from New York? I don't know. She's fire though.
Still,
I fuck with her.
Yeah, that's a great connection. Yeah. I have a few questions, but I wanted to ask you, you know, you talked about the DIY, you came in the game. Mm-hmm. What is like the best piece of equipment that you bought and something that you think people should invest their money in when they're trying to get in the engineering / producer game?
I have to say my computer, to be honest with you. My laptop.
Okay.
You know, it's I've had a lot of hot laptops over the years.
Right.
But 16 gigs of RAM. I think I have like a terabyte. That's the biggest thing you can invest in is your computer, because like
that's the hub.
Yeah, it's where you do everything, and like a lot of people try to make music on, you know, a regular computer, and it's like then the computer freezes, and then like they get frustrated. It's because you didn't invest into your computer.
You gotta use like a hard drive.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Nah, like you gotta invest into a good computer, because that's where you do everything at.
And so, which one do you have right now?
Yeah, MacBook Pro. I have a 2017. You know. 16 gigs RAM. In Miami, I have in storage right now, but I have a 32 gigabyte tower with 2 terabytes on it. You know, which is faster than lightning. Like that shit is really, really fast. And it's from 2012, but does the job.
It does the job.
Yeah,
it has the horsepower.
And it's fast.
It matters.
That's the number one thing, because everything else doesn't matter. Like, to be honest with you, like I use $100 when I do my references at the crib. I use $100 mic.
You were saying.
Yeah, and like. And it's all about the mixing, you know. Like I know how to mix, so and a lot of these songs, like you were talking about Playboy Cardi earlier, and like also like XXXTentacion, like his first song was fucking.
Oh my god, yeah.
It sounds like shit, but the thing is, it's about the energy behind it, you know. And it's like, as long as you have the computer to do it, you can like, bro, we can like right now record a song and it can go platinum right now. It's off of this, because you know so definitely the computer, and then probably. I mean, it depends. Like, if you're trying to be an artist, you know, or a producer. For producers, I would say you definitely need a MIDI keyboard. And really, it's all about software. I swear. Like, you know, get you some good plugins.
Sound selection.
Yeah, get you some good plugins and invest in learning. Like, even you can learn so much even on Instagram. Like, if you go through my save tab, I follow a lot of producer pages that, you know, share tips and shit.
Yeah.
And every day I learn something on Instagram.
Yeah.
You know, and YouTube, and also like master classes, like masterclass.com. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
The community of learning is power.
Like knowledge is power. Like you don't need shit to make it. All you need is a computer and knowledge. That's it.
Okay. My last question is, who are some artists, LA specifically, that you're excited about that are on the come up?
Shit.
You could be working with them or not.
Yeah, my homie Elam. I don't know if she announced her deal, but she just signed a nice deal. She's from Queens, but she lives out here now. She has a lot of dope shit coming out. Who else? There's so many artists, like Marcus Yates is on her album. Baby B, you know, she used to be signed to Young Blue. You know, now she's doing her own thing.
Baby B?
Yeah, Baby B. So many, man. Like, people gonna watch this and be mad and shout them out. I'm sorry. But there's so many. Right. My boy B Heard is out here, 070 B Heard. Man. Who else? There's so many. Oh, my boy Jackson, Will Gittins. Man, there's so many.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good place. Yeah. Any last shout outs in general?
Man, shout out Keith, my business partner.
Keith.
I love you. Shout out my mom. I feel like I'm doing a Grammy speech.
Absolutely.
Shout out God, man. You know what I'm saying? No matter what religion you believe in, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? There's just knowing that there's a God. Shit, man. Shout out me.
Yeah,
shout out Tori Doublecup.
Shout out to you.
You know what I'm saying? For getting me on here. You know what I'm saying?
Course.
Shout out to everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on.
Shout out
I
my
literally
grandma.
was so happy that you reached out to me, wanted to be on too.
I love doing podcasts. I just like to talk.
Yeah, and this was a fun one. Like, we're mad cool on here.
Sure.
Like, just chill conversation. And, we do this to inspire people. And we know people are going to be inspired by your story. So that's why we like to do this. And, if anybody needs an engineer.
You know what I'm saying? Look at this.
Yep.
2 cups.
2 cups.
That's called marketing.
I'm not messing around, guys. Got my coffee and my water. All right,
Awesome.
word.
What's up with you guys though? Like, man, let me interview you real quick. Like, what's
okay.
what are the plans? You know what I'm saying? Like long term for the podcast, for the marketing, for the brand. What's going on with y'all?
That's funny. I mean, podcast definitely. I think just upgrading everything, and we're new to LA, and I think we want to share a lot of what we're discovering in LA.
Yeah.
And get a lot of music people involved, get a lot of business people involved. Get a lot of artists involved, and just keep leveling up.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, he asked me to do this with him back in January, and I've thought about making a podcast before, but he just gave me that extra push, and I was like, hell yeah, let's try this out, because I want to be more like, I want people to like see me talk on something, and like, see what I really do. Like, I'm always connecting with different creatives in general, so why not like be on a podcast together, you know what I mean?
Beautiful.
And it's like super inspiring just to me, so I know other people are inspired. Like, every episode we record, I like feel so good after. I'll like go fucking make a mix like in an hour, and I'm like, whoa, like I never do shit that quick, but I just feel like so good after doing this. And yeah, like my big thing is to just like support others, inspire, and like go up together, because we need each other at the end of the day. Like, that's how we're gonna make shit happen,
That's a huge fact.
and just spreading love, no hate over here, like no competition. We're just all grinding, trying to make shit happen.
Making shit happen.
Making shit happen. Thank you for correcting me.
We don't try.
Can't talk like that.
Nope.
But yeah, I'm just getting some DJ gigs now.
Yes, sir. You booked up crazy.
This week, so we're gonna keep it like that. And yeah, I'm excited I'm throwing an event soon too, June 11th. I haven't said this on the podcast yet.
June 11th.
Yeah.
June 11th. Save the date. The candy shop.
It may or may not be a guest DJ spot by me. We will find out.
I'd love that.
You gotta play that remix. You gotta play that remix of Element. I like to hit it raw. That's on my Element. I like dark skin.
Oh yeah.
There's a mix of that with Candy Shop.
Oh, okay.
On the flyer, make like a video flyer with that as a background.
Say less. I love that idea.
And there's a video of this little girl dancing to it. I'm gonna send it to you.
Oh my god, thank you. That's awesome.
Tight. That's
I got
tight.
you.
Awesome.
Well, this is a dope place to end it. FREQ. Mike Snell, thank you so much for
Yes,
coming
thank
through.
you, Mike.
Appreciate it.
Need some
Throw the
sound
bombs
effects.
on there